Great. So welcome everyone to this webinar, Digital Sustainability Kanban for Digital Transformation Projects we have today. This is an advance of what we are having in our Congress next month. And here we have Carolina Cruz from Universidad, País, Vasco, Nargiza, I will pronounce wrong your surname, I know, Mikhridinova from ProDiT project, and Jesús Anaya from Universidad de Medellín. Welcome you all. And Carolina, I think you start, don't you? So yes. The floor is yours.
Yes, I start. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. As Vanessa said, this is part of going to be part of the workshop that we are going to have in the Congress in San Sebastian. And well, this is the agenda for today. First of all, we will have an introduction of ProDiT project that Nargiza is going to explain to us. What is this about? This is a project for digital transformation. And then I will talk a little bit about the description and the insights of what is digital sustainability Kanban. And then Jesús will explain to us the digital planet Earth observing system. And at the end, we will have some minutes, like 5 minutes. Well, we will see how it goes. We go with the time for your questions or some comments. So the first topic of ProDiT, Nargiza is going to present it. She's the coordinator of ProDiT project, and also she made some research in digital transformation and competence models. Right now, she's doing a PhD regarding to this topic, competence-based team development for engineering projects with focus on soft skills. She also researched in, well, she's making this PhD in the University of KU Leuven and in Belgium. And also she's collaborating and working with research in the Fachhochschule Dortmund. And well, okay, the floor is yours. Nargiza, welcome to this webinar.
Thank you, Carolina, for the introduction. I'm currently also in Bilbao, and as already Carolina mentioned, I'm doing PhD in Belgium and working in Germany. Yeah, so I will give a brief introduction about the project and why it's interesting and what is specific about it. Next slide. So this project, it's the full name is Project for the Digital Transformation. And this is a project of the type of knowledge alliance projects. So meaning that we develop interdisciplinary collaboration between higher education and business and industry. So you could see it's a pretty big project. It's almost 1 million euros, which is running for it's originally planned for 3 years, but due to Corona, we extended it for 4 years. There's 21 partners across 6 countries in Europe. And the focus is that it's actually co-creation of knowledge and that we provide students and companies with hands-on knowledge and trainings. This is the focus. And on the next slide, I will explain a bit more in detail what is basically the core topics of this project. As I mentioned, it's 6 countries, but the for 5 universities situated in different 5 European countries. It's FH Dortmund in Germany, Q11 in Belgium, University of the Basque Country in Spain, Kaunas Technical University in Lithuania, and Norwegian University of Technology and Sciences. So together with these 5 universities, we develop such materials on the topics of projectized organization in digital era, how basically companies should go through digital transformation. Then we have the topic of knowledge in agile organization, then the topic of competences, and this is about how and which competences people need to go through this process of transformation. And the last but not least is sustainability. Sustainable transformation, which is in the hands of University of the Basque Country, and later on it will be provided with more details in this topic by Carolina and Jesús Anaya. And on the other side, you could see this is a representative of industry. It's 16 companies in 5 countries. And those are associations, small and medium-sized enterprises and big enterprises such as Siemens in Belgium and Adesso in Germany. So together we develop materials at universities, and then we test out in industry. And also to make this knowledge very innovative and up to date, we develop this knowledge with companies and provide it with these students who can see, okay, this is how the company is going through transformation. This is what I would need to know when I finish the university and will go to industry to work. Or maybe if they decide for the PhD, this is also very actual. As you see, we prolonged it till the end of 24 and hope to develop the materials which will be very good to apply, for example, also in the form of open educational resources. Next slide. So this is the four topics which we foresee in this project. So this is about companies going from the situation A to B. And this is actually the state B, which is digital transform state. And to go and come to this state, company needs to know, okay, what is my maturity level? How and I can work with projects to deliver the digital transformed state. And this is the project view that the organization should know to go through the process of transformation. But the company, of course, cannot go it by itself. It's done with the help of people, and particularly with the people who are inside of an organization who would need specific competences. This is basically the people view, and this is where we develop the concepts of competence model for digital transformation and so on. When we deliver the digital transformed way state, we need to consider, of course, the impact, how sustainable the whole process was. And this is where the digital canvas is coming in play. Next slide. And these 4 ways, so project view, people view, impact view, organizational view, we look into projects as basically as a vehicle to come to the transformed way, and we say that we can manage digital transformation with projects. From the other point of view, we say that we want to transform project management digitally. For example, if you're looking into the competence topic, we want to develop a competence model. So we want to calculate and see how I can build the competence with the competences of the project team. So this is a bit different way. And this is one of the arts how we consider the transformation of project management digitally. And yeah, next slide. So yeah, and now I will go. I will give the word to Carolina, and stay tuned.
Thank you, Nargiza. So, thank you, Nargiza, for the introduction. Let me put here I don't know why. Yeah. Good. So, well, as Nargiza explained, this digital sustainability canvas, it's part of the outcomes from this ProDiT, this project of ProDiT. And the idea was to, because we're developing different modules and education packages, and regarding all of them, it's regarding to digital transformation. But in order to assess that in the sustainability, how it affects or impact in the sustainability, it was designed a tool to visualize this. And this is called the Digital Sustainability Canvas. And it all started as I said, normally, well, most of the people, they think that the data, it's on the cloud, and because it's called cloud. But not so many people, they know that it's inside the ocean, and also it causes impact and many negative impact, because we can have a positive and negative impact, but here we have to be aware that also digital transformation, digitalization, many aspects of this industry 4.0, it causes this impact in sustainability. Something that we cannot stop. The digital transformation is happening, and it's a phenomenon that it's in all the organizations, and well, of course, it brings benefits to the society and to the industry and the production, but also it has an impact on that. And well, as we can see here in this image, we have different identified issues or aspects of this digitalization, and it can be as simple or basic as communicating our ideas, or very complex and more important, like bank change, that there are some banks that they are already like all digitalized, and well, these tools that they are used in production. So we have all this digital transformation that is growing exponential, and it's covering all sectors: production, research, education, also decision making processes, health, service, social interactions, and also projects. And there's a crucial focus in these digital transformation processes and the performance of this field that is related to the impact to sustainability. So where is this tool, where the digital transformation, the digital sustainability canvas, it's based on the sustainability 3 pillars of, well, defined by ProDiT, and they are the basis of the sustainable development, and they have to be equally important. If these 3 concepts or pillars of the sustainability, they one of them takes more importance, or it's the focus is more, for example, in the economical part, in the profit. So, and the rest, the social part, is not taken into account, or the environmental part, so it's not sustainable. The project here, we will talk about projects and digital transformation projects, but the sustainability and these 3 pillars are applicable to any kind of project, or in any process, or in our daily life, that we have to be aware, at least aware, that every action that we make, everything that, every SMS that we send, or everything that we do, it has an impact in the, well, of course, in the economical part, in the environmental part and the social part. So this is a phrase from Nilmara Arabex, the director of the GRI. And it says, in order to change the way we do things, we need to change the way we view things. And this phrase, I really like it to be the introduction for the digital sustainability canvas, because it is based on the business model canvas and the sustainable business canvas that there are many canvas and business model that involve sustainability, that assess sustainability or project management or digital transformation. If you go to research engines or databases, you can find many research being done in this topic, but the design or development of the digital sustainability canvas that we're going to use or to explain here, it's based in two models. The first one, that is a world-known business model canvas from Osterwalder and Pignot. Well, here we put both. This is Osterwalder 2008. But this model has different boxes that allow us to visualize. This mainly was for visualization of how the business and the value proposition of the business and how to create money of a company it was made. So this business model, it's the basis, the started, and it's very well known. But the focus is mainly in the economical part. So this model describes the rationale of the organizations, as it says here, and how they create and delivers and captures the value. Also, we have from the project management perspective, we have the sustainable project management canvas that also it is based, or some of the elements to develop this canvas by Chipper and Silvius. They use the previous one from Osterwalder, and but this model, it's more focused in the project management processes and actions, activities. It's very complete, and also I recommend it to you to go and have a look at their research and their work. It's very complete, and it was also taken for the development of the business model canvas. I'm going to show you how the digital sustainability canvas was developed and this model was used as well. And also it is based on the 3 layers canvas of the sustainable business canvas of Joyce and Packing. And this model has 3 layers, and the difference of the previous ones, it's that here in this model, you have the social part. Also, it takes in consideration the social aspect of sustainability, and also the environmental, the life cycle assessment, and the economical part. The blue one, that is the economical part of this canvas, Joyce and Paquin takes as a base the Osterwalder's model, so that is focused in the profit, in the economic part. For the environmental layer, this authors takes the life cycle assessment tool as the tool to identify the indicators that they are here placed in the boxes here. And for the social part, they have both different researchers and some elements that they took but it is based on the stakeholders' business analysis. And well, these three layers in their research, they are merged. Well, first of all, the analysis is made separately, and then it is integrated into one aspect. And in order to have to take decisions and of the project or the process that is being analyzed. And here, this is a visualization tool to see how is the impact of that process, that project, into the on sustainability, in these three aspects of sustainability. So this is the digital sustainability canvas. It was developed by one of our colleagues called Jorge Maldonado and Jose Raotegui. And they integrated these three other models into this one. And also they combine or they made some research regarding to digital transformation projects in order to integrate these indicators here. Also, something else that they added in this framework was the RAG status in order to evaluate or to put some assessment in the different indicators. And the red one, well, it's the negative impact that is red. The amber color, it's that it doesn't affect in any way, neither positive or negative, the impact of that process or that project. And also the green one is the positive impact. So the proposal that this author they made is to put this category, this status in each of the boxes or in each of the indicators that we place here, if it makes a positive or a negative impact. So these are the placeholders, the indicators, the boxes here, these boxes. I put it there in a list. So what these authors, they, this digital sustainability canvas, they evaluate the channels, the community, the cost, the customers, well, the ecosystem and biodiversity, the end life, end user, well, all these elements, the suppliers, revenues, and they integrated all these parts into this canvas. And the objective is to make the assessment of the project on sustainability and to see which of these parts they have the negative or the positive impact in order to take later on decisions. But this is a starting point to have this visualization of the impact. And this can be useful to create, at least to start to have a conscience of the impact that all our actions have. Later on, we will have Jesús, Anaya will talk a little bit deeper to these ecosystems, and he will focus a little bit more on how to have these indicators or how to these ecosystems are affected, but from the perspective on the environmental part. But well, just to have this here. So this digital sustainability canvas, it has an information flow, how to fill it out. It's a little bit complex here, but these are the arrows. Well, I repeat to you that this is like an introduction of the workshop that we will have in San Sebastian in July, the 12th of July. We will have it in the Congress. And there we will make an overview of all this information that we are having right now here, but we will have a case study in order to apply this tool. So there we will have, we will identify the indicators. I will explain to you how we identify the indicators and how also we can tailorize this digital sustainability canvas to our projects, because first of all, this digital transformation, it can happen in any kind of in many different sectors or fields. For example, construction, education, banking, service, and we can tailorize it because we have to tailorize it, depending in which project we are assessing. And to define this, well, first of all, we have to define the main project activities, or to classify them in different types of actions. Then these parameters, sustainability parameters, they will be defined as well. And then we place them in these boxes, in these placeholders, as I told you. But we will do that in the workshop. We will have an activity there, and we will have this case study, and we will define and develop all these parameters and actions. So this is just as an example. You may say, well, how these parameters, or if there are some standardized indicators that we can use. Right now, there are many, well, this is a very trendy topic, the sustainability, and all over the world, we're having these institutions, this research regarding to this, how to measure and how to detect these indicators. But still, there is no standardized way to do this. But as I put here some examples of the more used well, reporting or assessments or indicators as the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, the life cycle assessment also, they to do this analysis or of the life cycle of the products. They also have a tool, and they have these indicators defined. It's very useful. And well, we have the other ones, but also there are ISOs and many others. So it depends on which kind of activities or project we are analyzing, we are assessing, that we will recommend or we will follow in order to define the indicators. We will follow some of these standard issues. And well, regarding to this, Jesús will show us another tool, another way to identify this. This is, as I told you, this is more focused in the environmental part, but also we will touch in the Congress. We will see which standards and which other research made from other authors, how they detect these indicators from the social part of view and also the economical part. And we will make an example and case study in the workshop. But well, to continue with this theoretical webinar, Jesús Anaya, as Vanessa said, he comes from the University of Medellín, and he's a professor there, and he has more than 30 publications in different journals and books and book chapters. He's a leader of the research in line of hermeneutics applied to nature resources. And currently he's researching in Leipzig, in Germany. And he does this remote sensing center for Earth in Leipzig. And also he's collaborating with the University of Dortmund, the Fachhochschule, in Germany as well, regarding to the topic of environmental and sustainability. So Jesús is going to explain a very, very interesting topic, and welcome to this webinar, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Carolina. Thank you, Carolina and Nargiza, for having me in this seminar. Well, this is about Earth observing system of digital planets, like having a version of the planet in digital form. Can you go to the next one, please? So this is my presentation. I'm going to give a brief definition and importance of Earth observing system. What's remote sensing, basically what this is about. I'm going to talk about costs and distribution of the data we get with this kind of technology, and how we somehow digitize ecosystems as layers and their interactions. Then I go into the global scale projects using all this type of data, and I would just giving some few comments about how to store and how to process this huge amount of data. Next one, please. So this is all about, I'm going to talk, it's about remote sensing. So what you see there, it's a well-known satellite that has been flying for over 50 years so far. So it's not the same satellite, it's like a program that's being providing digital images for over 50 years. It's very important, not only because it's taking images today, but because there's an archive of 50 years of data of the planet. And basically, it's just a satellite that is flying, and it has a sensor, what we call commonly a camera, that gets like the energy that the Earth reflects, and then it forms an image of the Earth, and that image is digital, and that's what we use for processing or getting a model of the planet. Next, please. So this is very important things that have to do with this type of technology, and that we are not in touch with the planet when we get information, so there's no sampling destruction. The coverage is worldwide, so we can have images for any place over the planet, no geographic restrictions. It's very important that we can have consistent observations at regular intervals, like the real-time series, that you know what's going on every 15 minutes, every week, every month. So we can build time series of these observations that are taken on the same conditions by satellites. Then we have an archive, as I mentioned before. So the last 50 years in this history of the planet is archived somewhere, and we can actually access that data. And finally, this technology allows to have observations of the planet day and night. So we don't depend only on the sun energy to get information. We can also produce, somehow illuminate the planet and get our own observations during night. And something that's really, I would say, annoying for those that work with remote sensing is clouds, because as you can see, it's very common to see clouds in the sky. And for those who work with land surface, it's like no data. So it's very redundant data that we get from satellites. You can easily have 50% of your observations covered by clouds. And so it's like digital information that never will be used. Next, please. So who's doing this is basically private and public initiatives. From the public, it's using like taxes resources, it's NASA. From the United States and the European Space Agency is like the largest space agencies providing this type of information. And the good thing is they agreed this last 20 years to provide information for free. So we all can use this type of data for free. You can download the data with the very basic registration, and you can access like last technology data of remote sensing for free. And that's what I use with my students. And when I teach my classes, I ask them to pick any place on the earth to work with. So if I have students from India, they will work from her hometown in India. Others will work with Hong Kong, or they will work with, Colombia, China, anywhere, because you can get the data for free. And for research, that's something that you can also do. Like the center I'm working now here in Leipzig has a lot of data that's being produced, and basically what we do is just to change the form of the data to make it more useful. Next, please. So here's how we create layers of the planet in to study in this. There's very good, important teams working on each of these titles. So we have, in general, it's land, then atmosphere, the ocean, ice, and their interactions and feedbacks. So for land, people only works with lakes, so they will work with land surface temperature, biomass. There's probably few words that you've heard on a daily basis, like greenhouse gases in the case of the atmosphere. For the ocean, for sure, you've heard that the sea surface temperature has to do with the El Niño phenomenon. The ice sheet melting, you've heard about that. So there's groups of experts for each of those titles that use satellite image. So this is an image from the European Space Agency, just showing how we divide the planet into, I would say, topics. And we have a particular way to digitize the planet to study that type of information. Next, please. So this is where, how to store and how to process that data. And as you've seen, the titles I showed before have to do with climate action, with life below water, life on land. Those are the 13, 14, 15 Sustainable Development Goals. So it has to do with sustainability. So how we can make a model of the planet and make future scenarios of what's going to happen in 10 years, in 20 years, in 100 years. That's like the basic approach to sustainability that we use data for. But for the other hand, it's like, what's the impact of this kind of technology? Where are we storing a huge amount of data? How are we processing this data? Now, like many centers are using artificial intelligence to get information out from the data we get from satellites. And that's just using tons of computers, a huge RAM. So we work with clusters, we work in the cloud, and we use state-of-the-art hardware to be able to process this huge amount of data. There's hundreds of sensors flying. I just showed you at the beginning one, but there's hundreds of them flying. Some are private, some are public. There's petabytes for each sensor. And in addition, there's like the first version is the image that takes the satellite, and then it goes into a processing chain where you get different collection processing levels. Then you have a spatial resolution, like just if you can imagine having the planet represented in a grid of 10 meters per pixel. It's just amazing, huge amount of data. And then you get images, for example, every 15 minutes for a whole continent. And that's just amazing. Next, please. So what we're basically doing is having global scale projects with data cube dimensions, because we can't study like the planet by a country, by a watershed, or even by a single continent. What many large research groups are dedicated to is to work with the whole planet in what we call, and it's going to become more common every day, it's data cubes, where you have a latitude and longitude, and then you have precipitation, temperature, deforestation, greenhouse gases, you name it. And those are huge cubes with several dimensions. Or something else is like the digital twin. That's a concept coming from different areas. Basically, it's like getting identifying the planets as composed by different entities that are interacting. So at the end, we want to have a digital twin of the planet and to be able to define their interactions, like a video game, but it's the planet in that game with the interactions we produced. Then it's the economic valuation of the ecosystem that's done digitally, where we give a value of an ecosystem to be able to talk in the same language that the companies use when talking about ecosystems, how we use like the forest, the water, the air, and give an economic valuation. Then we need all this information coming from satellites. Climate change, we already mentioned, and using all this information to give these future scenarios that it's the only way to do it, because we can't go into the future, but we can model, and we use all these global scale projects to model what's going to happen in the future. Next, please. So just this is close to the end of my presentation. This is growing databases and complex data processing, because satellites are constantly gathering new data. We download that data, we have to maintain those archives. There's also a user need of near real-time data, so getting the minimum amount of time between the acquisition of the image by the satellite to we as users be able to use that information. Like we need near real-time information. That's a lot of pressure for Earth observing systems. And all the energy requirements to process data and to keep these servers providing data 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Next one, please. This is my last slide, and it's just for you to have an idea of how space looks like just from the European Space Agency projects. It's a huge amount of sensors getting this digital information, and there's antennas all over the planet downloading this data to make it available for final users. So, well, thanks again, and that was my presentation.
Thank you, Jesús. Wait, put the next one. Okay, Vanessa.
That last image, it's impressive, where you can see huge amount of satellites there.
As we don't see it, we don't imagine, no, that
Yeah,
happening.
I was aware of the Copernicus ones, but there are tons.
So
And
many.
that's implying a lot of data too. So yeah, thank you very much, all three. So maybe we can open a short QA section. If any one of the public wants to ask, just raise your hand, open your mic. You're happy to share. And if not, we will expect all of you attend the conference, and we can keep working there. I think it's going to be a nice workshop with lots of information, and this introduction will help people to focus from the very beginning so we can master the time we have. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much for being here, for participating, and for showing, and for being at the workshop next month. And if anyone has any question, we will share the video anyway, so they can reach you and ask you questions if it appears later. And see you in next event. See you in July. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.